Hi YouTube, it's Ty, and I am here to do the live stream that I said that I would do on today after I saw this Surviving R. Kelly documentary. I still had two more parts to watch today. I tried to watch it all last night and I just couldn't. It's really dark, it's really deep, it's really heavy. So caught myself trying to just get through it all last night, but it was a bit of a struggle, I will admit. I'm getting myself set up to get my channel just in case there are any comments coming in on the stream so that I can read them. This will be a call-in stream. I don't have the conference line started yet, but I'll get that up shortly. Let's see here. And I'm getting to where I can see the comments as they come in, if they come in. So like usual, I'll just give us a few minutes, see if anyone comes in, see if anyone wants to talk about it. And if not, I am like so okay with scrapping this stream because that stuff was just so heavy to watch. It was hard. But I know what my opinions are about it, and I'll talk a little bit about my own opinions on tomorrow. But I want to know what you all think about it today. I think that by now, it's kind of old news and everyone has had a chance to look at it. Everyone who, or most people who want to see it have had a chance to check it out. And so just kind of want to know what you all think about it, what you thought about what you saw in that 6-part documentary. It was hard to watch to me, you guys. I don't know what y'all thought, but, and I will say, I can't say that R. Kelly takes 100% of the blame. I especially was questioning these older women who got involved with him much later on, after the allegations have been floating around for, years. And we all at least have heard, whether we want to believe or not, that R. Kelly is some kind of monster, sexual deviant, whatever you want to call him. I was particularly surprised that there were a couple of 30-something-year-old women who got caught up, in the R. Kelly trap, so to speak. So just a lot that was going on there. So if you all want to talk about it, I'm here to listen to whatever your opinions are. I will open the phone lines once I see that there's a comment in the chat that someone wants to call in. But until then, I'll just kind of wait to see if we get some people in, see if we get enough people in to get a real stream going here. But yeah, those parents, I questioned, the parents, I questioned the older women. I don't really fault the teenage girls, though. I do wonder, what it was it in them that, I don't know if it was the way that they were raised or just, lack of self-esteem. I don't know what allowed these young girls to feel like they would be safe with R. Kelly, or maybe, I don't know, how some women kind of feel like, well, he treated other women like that, but he won't treat me like that. Maybe it was that. It just amazes me that all of those years later, after we knew about Aaliyah, after we'd heard several rumors, after the tape with Sparkle's knees came out and we saw, or I didn't see it, but a lot of people obviously saw him, urinating on this 13-year-old girl. How are people still going to R. Kelly, involving themselves with him, thinking that they're going to have some sexual romantic relationship and that it's going to be normal? Did anybody think that? So I really, after watching that documentary, I just have a lot of questions. I don't really have any answers. All of it was strange to me. And I feel like a lot of the people who were interviewed, quite frankly, if R. Kelly goes to prison, a lot of those people who were interviewed need to be in prison too. Seems like there was definitely a system of people around him, protecting him, trying to make sure that his secrets, I guess, did not get out to the public, that they certainly, his secrets didn't get out to the press or out to law enforcement. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. And I just didn't have the nerve to watch this all when it was fresh and new. So it could be that, this is not the time for this stream. Maybe I missed that boat, but it seems like there's still stories coming out about it now. Now that there's an investigation underway. Do you all think that it's too late for an investigation now. I do question the parents of the Jocelyn Savage girl. It does seem like some of these parents basically delivered their babies, their girls, their daughters right into R. Kelly's hands after, the rumors have been out for at least 20 years. We don't know for sure, maybe, or some people could dismiss some things, but if you even have, a 5% doubt in your mind, this man is the monster that he's been made out to be, how could you, bring your daughter to his concert, let her go backstage with him in the hopes of, maybe he'll be able to get her on, put her on with a music career, give her a record deal or whatever. I just, there's a lot of blame to go around. And some, obviously, in my opinion, and everybody won't agree, obviously R. Kelly does need to take some of this blame. I think that these parents need to take some of the blame. I think that the grown women who got involved with him definitely need to take some of the blame. And who's watching these girls? Who's watching these girls? And some of the younger girls who got involved with him admitted, like my mom didn't know what I was doing. I lied to my mom and told her I was doing one thing when I was going to see him. And I know that that happens, but this was just such a travesty on so many levels. And two of the girls, he still has in his possession, I'll say. But one thing that I can say that I heard that seemed to be something that was in common with all of them is that no one really said that they were being held against their will. It was almost as if everybody, once these girls got fed up, then they just decided to walk away. So I will say that, and it's not really in R. Kelly's defense, but it does seem like, yeah, it was more of a brainwashing thing, a mind fuck thing. Hi, JD, how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming in. I'm just going to talk a few more minutes and see if we can drum up some interest, see if anybody wants to talk about this, because at this point it is old news, but I literally just finished watching the last two parts. I watched another part last night of this 6-part documentary, and then I watched another 2 parts, the last 2 parts today, and it was hard for me to get through. I was planning on streaming at 3:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, 45 minutes earlier than I started, but I couldn't even finish watching the documentary on time and time enough to do this. So I'm just saying, for me, I see a lot of blame to go around. As far as a lot of people are concerned, I'm not going to stoop so low, in my opinion, as to blame the teenage girls who were involved. But certainly the 30-something-year-old women who got with R. Kelly, after the 2000, in the 2010s, and the parents who kind of, in my opinion, delivered their daughters to the hands, straight into the hands of R. Kelly. I do blame them, for some of what's been able to happen. The people who were around him who, made sure to kind of cover things up for him, that, these girls' parents didn't know exactly what was going on, that certainly the press and the media could not get a hold of any information, and that, of course, law enforcement, would be kept out of the loop. There's just a whole lot of blame to go around from everything that I saw. So JD says, I haven't watched any yet. Might force my husband to watch tonight. Well, pick your part, because I know that I hope that you won't have the capacity to get through all 6 parts in one night. It's a lot. I think I ended up having to spread it over 4 days. Maybe it took me 4 days to watch it. I watched the first 2 parts early on, but I really, frankly, needed a break, especially after all of the information about Aaliyah that came out. Obviously, I knew, that he married her, but I didn't know a lot of the details that they shared on how things really went down. So I didn't like that, and mainly just because Aaliyah is not here to speak for herself. I don't feel that she needs to. And I'm saying speak for herself rather than defend herself, because she was a child, when all this was going on, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. So I won't hold a teenage girl accountable, no matter how fast people say, So I just want to know what you all think. I'm going to go on and, well, I'll open the phone lines if I get a comment, let's say within the next 5 minutes. If I get a comment in the chat that someone wants to call in and talk about it, I'll open the phone lines. Otherwise, I'll just scrap the session. But if you all want to call in and talk about it, I will open the phone lines. Let's see, JD says, do you think R. Kelly will end up being convicted? I really don't know. I guess that it would depend on whether or not there are statute of limitations where he allegedly committed these acts that a lot of these women are talking about, because they definitely, like, it seems like towards the 2010s and on, he seemed to be a little bit more careful about picking the young ladies he chose to be with. He made sure that they weren't as young as before, but 17 years old seemed to be about the age that most of these girls seem to meet him. And I don't know if that's the age of consent in every place where he was. One of the girls he met in Miami, one of the girls he met in, he met some of them in Atlanta, he met some of them in Chicago. And so I guess it kind of depends on what the age of consent is in these states where he met these girls, and if there are statute of limitations on these crimes. I mean, because he is being investigated now, but it's not like he hasn't been investigated before, several times, and has been able to, just walk away. So I don't know if a conviction is coming out of this for R. Kelly. Yeah, I really thought that based on what I heard about the sex tape with the 13-year-old girl who apparently he was described in the documentary by one of the girls, that he was using this girl like a toilet, just peeing in her mouth, peeing all over her. And people say that it's very clear that it was her, this 13 or 14-year-old girl at the time, that they could identify her and that they could clearly identify him. And it seems like it should have been, open and shut case. Is that how you say it? Seems like it should have been a slam dunk, easy to convict him at that point. And so if we have already been through a situation where we've seen him on videotape, and people could identify that it was him, if he's already been through that and has been acquitted, then it's really hard for me to say that he'll ever actually end up doing any time, and that he'll ever actually end up being convicted. And like I said, as the time has gone by, it seems like he's been able to, control the desire to get the girls so young, 13, 14, and he's moved up to 17. So maybe he's, kind of dealing with, well, this is generally, the age of consent, so I can't get caught up in anything. So I don't know, JD. I wish I had an answer for that. I really wish that I did. But again, I'll let the stream go for a couple more minutes. If we don't get anyone saying that they want to call in and talk about it, then I'll just let it go, because it was hard for me to watch. I would love if we could actually have a call in and discussion about it. Just because I got through all 6 parts of that documentary, y'all, it was hard. And that's really the only reason that I watched it, because other people were telling me in my last stream that they wanted to have this discussion. So if we don't have this discussion, then I put myself through that torture for nothing, because I already wasn't supporting R. Kelly. I don't buy his music. I haven't listened to his music in a while, like since I was relatively young, and figured out, okay, well, he's singing these songs to girls who are like my niece's age. This isn't about grown woman love, so he's been creepy to me for quite some time. But I just want to know what y'all think about it. I'm utterly disgusted by the things that I saw. And again, not just on R. Kelly. I don't understand how 2 women in their 30s after the year 2010 could put themselves in what they call romantic relationships with R. Kelly and think that it's going to be something normal. I don't understand how parents, after 2010, or really after we all figured out that he was married to Aaliyah, I don't understand how parents could say, well, here's my child, you're a big time, singer and songwriter and record producer, help my child out, help my daughter get, a record contract. How could you do that? Hi, well, thank you for coming in. I hope that you're doing well today. Well. It looks like I'm going to end up scrapping this stream though, because I haven't gotten anyone to call in. I haven't gotten anyone to express an interest to call in. So unless you all tell me within the next minute that you don't want to call in, then I'm going to go on and end this stream, because y'all, yeah, like I can't just, I need to save my voice for tomorrow, because I have Sunday Funday coming up, and I will talk about R. Kelly then. So, y'all will get to hear probably more of my opinions than you want to hear tomorrow. But, I always do the call-in stream so that I can talk to y'all, so that I can know what you all think. So if you don't want me to end the stream, then just call in. Jennifer, too much for you. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for that thumbs up, whoever that was. Okay, I'm going to do, I guess, a countdown and go on in the stream. Unless someone says that they want to call in, then I will go on and open the phone line. But yeah, you guys, it was disturbing. Everything that I saw was disturbing. And let's see. Oh, that was me. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, and thank you for being here. I am doing well. I am doing well as well. Thank you for coming in. Well, you guys, I'm going to go in and end the stream. I hope that you all have a good weekend. And I guess I'll just get myself prepared for tomorrow for the Sunday Funday live stream, which will not be a call-in. I will be live and on the camera in front of you, telling you my opinions about everything. But so we'll scrap R. Kelly. And if someone says that they want to come in and talk about it at a later time, we can revisit this topic, because I'm sure that there are going to be more things that come up. Like we had his daughter speaking out this week, and I felt horrible for her, because she felt as though she owed the public an apology or some kind of explanation, which she can't help it. That's her father. So I hate that for her. But anyway, thank you. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you for coming in, Jennifer. Well, you have a good evening too. Thank you, JD. I'll see you tomorrow, and I will be on the camera, so y'all will see me tomorrow. And we'll talk about a whole lot of things. There's a lot going on. So love you all. Thank you all so much for coming in, and I'll catch you on the next stream, and I'll catch some of you on your channels. Bye-bye.